one of the aspects actually it originated from was that we started out with a team of two, right? So it was important to us that we picked an art style where we could still create quite a bit of content despite just being a small team. So we also, from a technical perspective, first figured out of, okay, how can we do this in such a way that it's actually feasible? So, for example, we use a technique where we don't actually have to do textures, and it's just all flat colors, which allows us to be very fast with making assets. So that was a big starting aspect. First started out with that as from the technical side, right? And then it grew, and then we started looking at okay, how are we actually going to do this, and what kind of theme, etc. And a few inspirations that we drew from a bit is like one that was a really big one is an old cartoon called Samurai Jack, where I love that show growing up because it was so different and unique. It was basically this sort of fantasy world, but it still had technology in it and everything like intermingled and connected, and it was like a mess of all sorts of different styles and cultures together, and we figured that would be pretty cool to do, right, where you have like a fantastical world with magic, but technology also exists, right, because we have a mage character, we have an engineer character. So we looked into how can we start combining all of that together, and the main goal always was to make sure that it always felt fun and quirky and invitable. Even like the darker levels are still colorful in their own way and approachable and inviting, because we were drawing like heavy inspirations from games like Crash Bandicoot and Mario. All those games have that in common, is that they are super approachable and very inviting because they're colorful and just look fun, right? And that was very important to us as well, especially because a lot of other twin stick shooters, they tend to be a bit darker, post-apocalyptic settings, usually like with zombies or dungeons or whatever, and that's definitely something we wanted to stay away from, and make it much more inviting instead.
The most challenging one by far, for sure, would have been the third mountain level. That's the one that's Zelda inspired, mostly because it was really, really, really ambitious and extremely large. So that level has evolved throughout development constantly, like based on feedback. There used to be like ambitions in there for there to be like an ice slide section, but the Mountain Zone 3 was like free roaming. You could explore every part of the dungeon any way you'd like, and things would unlock and progress also any way you like. There's this real cool aspect in there as well, where there's a central combat room. It's like the map room of the dungeon, and from that point it branches out into all these different kinds of puzzle rooms and cool combat arenas and boss rooms.
That level is kind of like a Zelda dungeon. It's a different structure. We do that throughout the game, right? We always want to keep it interesting, and even though in length we might not be like a 20-hour campaign, right? We do want to make sure that while you're playing it, that at least every level has something that makes it feel unique and memorable, right? So here were the mentions. There's a level where you're, in this minecart chase and like doing like an Indiana Jones sequence, which we actually modeled on the Indiana Jones, like, the if you watch the movie and look at how the cart is moving, well, actually the start of that track is actually the same. We were able to add these unique elements in there to kind of mix it up and keep it fun and engaging. We've built all our behind the scenes systems in this, systemic modular way, right? So if you want to take aspects from a certain setup and then turn it upside down, we can actually do that because we can all interlink it with each other and kind of do like some crazy scripting.